All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm super excited to introduce Bridgette Darling from Adobe. Bridgette, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm excited. I'm grateful that you're here with us. I'm excited for your talk. It's gonna be a good day, and it's the last day of email camp, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Really quick, ladies and gentlemen, really quick. Make sure you throw those questions in the Q&A tab on the right-hand side. Please put those in there. I know a lot of people like to throw them in the chat, but just trying to keep everything a little organized for us today. But please put those questions in the QA tab right next to the chat tab. I will go ahead and let Bridgette go ahead and kick this off. And Bridgette, let me know if you need anything, okay?
Thank you.
No
Hello and
problem.
good morning, everyone. Um, as mentioned, my name is Bridgette Darling. I'm in the Customer Journeys group here at Adobe. I've spent most of my career adjacent to or directly involved in email and omnichannel marketing platform technologies. So hopefully I'm the right person to help kick off this day. Thank you all for taking time to join us. I will jump right into it. So I hopefully do not get yanked off stage for going over. Customers control when and where they interact with your brand always. Your workflow is not a customer journey, nor does it define your customer experience. The customer sees the collection of all of their interactions with your brand as your brand. And they're interacting across all channels all the time around the clock. They expect timely and relevant and connected and consistent customer experiences whenever and wherever they are interacting. But this means that more touch points, more opportunities for personalization mean more opportunities for your brand to shine or stumble. Companies must make customer experiences seamless across all channels and be prepared to personalize regardless of when and where and how that customer is interacting. Earlier this year, we did a check-in. We did some research with consumers on how and if customer engagement was changing. How were consumers feeling? What was their sentiment on how brands were engaging with them? On average, and this was an incredibly high number to me, but I'm sure most of us even receive more than this if we put our consumer hats on, received 139 messages in a typical week from brands across a range of channels. And it was no surprise to me, knowing what I know and doing what I do, that email was by far the most prevalent, nearly triple even the next channel of engagement. It's no secret that email returns great results for marketing, and marketing loves email. Now, in the past 10 to 15 years that I've been in this industry, I pretty much see this number hold steady, $36 for every $1 spent. But I also see it even double or triple depending on the use case, depending on the brand. Again, marketing loves email. So it was great to see that consumers are also most open to receiving emails from brands. They're still more open to receiving than even push or text or SMS or in-app, but it's growing. But what they also do see is that where they're ignoring or deleting a much higher volume of emails compared to other channels. What I think is interesting here is that what consumers are telling us is that they love email. They're open to other channels. They're okay with that mix. But I think they love email because it's not invasive. That's my theory, my hypothesis. They don't have to feel as involved with the brand or as on alert as mobile or maybe some other channels may, make them feel. So email's great, but from a marketing point of view, we think about all the hard work that goes into those email programs. I think I've heard from enterprise brands that even one email campaign can take up to 12 weeks to prepare and compile and orchestrate. So if you think of all that hard work as going to waste, how do you maximize your customer engagement while still reaching customers in omnichannel and still driving the most from your email programs, knowing that consumers still love it? First, before we get into that, I think we have to take a look at what's going on between customer and brand initiated moments. This is what we at Adobe call the context gap. And we see it as one of the biggest challenges that brands have to overcome to achieving personalized omni-channel experiences. Remember I said, when your customer journey is not a workflow, this is where that comes in. Customer engagement is often associated with brand initiated moments, but what about these customer initiated moments? When I say brand initiated, I mean the moments that are orchestrated by you as the marketer and include tactics like promotions, birthdays, anniversaries, even re-engagement, right? It's a way for you to reach your customers, and it's often tied with your marketing calendar. What are your objectives as a business? What products do you need to sell, or what targets do you need to hit? What we often neglect is these customer initiated moments when the customer is choosing to interact with you. And we have to be prepared with the right data and the right message to deliver contextual interactions. What we see at Adobe is that winning brands are shifting from a channel to or program-led batch, whatever you want to call it, engagement, to customer-centric or experience-led engagement, considering and bringing together both these brand-initiated and customer-initiated moments. And I know oftentimes what I'll get is email really isn't an inbound channel. It's not really there for customer-initiated moments. But I beg to challenge that. I think with some of the best brands that I work with today, some of the world's biggest brands that are leading in this space are considering how email fits into that journey and when is it appropriate to send those marketing-led, brand-led emails as well as those customer-initiated moments. But what we still see, even across the world's biggest brands and the brands that are doing it best, is that oftentimes email lives in a silo and results in a lack of a consistent customer experience. This is oftentimes related to challenges around technology, people, and process. So what's preventing email from evolving? Again, it's these organizational technology silos resulting in, I think if I think back to brands that, they have their batch and blast engine, they have their email programs for sending real-time communications, they have their mobile, they have their, their CRMs. If these aren't connected and consistent, you're not going to be able to deliver personalized communications. It's about knowing your customer. So how do you have that unified customer profile? And I'll talk about that in a minute. It's about being able to respond to each customer moment with the right message at the right time, regardless what platform you're using to deliver those communications. And it's about personalizing at scale. We know that personalization at scale results in added resources, added processes, more content than ever before. So how can we as an organization be prepared to do that? So now I want to talk about the building blocks of evolving email market, the building blocks to evolve email marketing use cases for omni-channel engagement. The role of email evolves across the entire customer life cycle. This means bringing together a connected system of data, insights, and engagement with a 360-degree view of the customer lifecycle to provide email marketers more autonomy to execute their end-to-end processes. It means reimagining batch and blast with customer-centric journeys by delivering more emails in context of the customer's real-time journey by evolving marketing-led batch campaigns into customer-initiated journeys. And finally, it's leveraging AI and ML to optimize and personalize content and production and deployment. Personalize and optimize production times with generative AI and intelligence across workflows, content optimization, and experimentation to meet the demand needed for omni-channel engagement. Sorry, I'm having a little trouble, everyone, if you haven't noticed with this. There we go. So how do you build a unified customer profile to help overcome org, tech, and data silos? It's making sure you have the right data platform that allows you to bring together all of your customer data, regardless of what email platform, mobile, POS systems, et cetera, that you're using, so that you can create that unified view of the customer. What I've found is this is one of the first steps or base building blocks for customers to infuse omni-channel insights into their email marketing programs, which is really step one from going from a single channel to a multi-channel to an omni-channel engagement strategy. Like I said, it's reimagining batch and blast with customer-centric journeys. So instead of thinking about what is the use case based on my marketing calendar, it's also thinking about what is the ideal customer experience? How do we map out that customer journey and then apply that in our marketing tools to be able to react to customers in the moment? regardless of channel. And oftentimes email might not be the best channel for that experience. However, at times it could be. I think of a customer I was working with earlier this week where their product is mainly mobile based. So you would think all of their communications should go through mobile channels. However, what they found through testing and optimization was that, in some cases, while the customer received their product or their service through this app, some customers didn't like receiving those push notifications, didn't acknowledge their in-app notifications, and still actually subscribed and engaged via the email channel. So it's using this real-time journey orchestration in conjunction with experimentation and optimization to really deliver that true omni-channel experience that's going to meet your customers in the right moment with the right message. And then it's knowing when to leverage AI and ML. I know a lot of brands are still embarking on this journey, but what we find at Adobe is that when done right, and when you're using generative content based on brand guidelines, you can really, for the first time, start creating content at scale, at the scale that you need for true one-to-one personalization. It's never been more exciting. I know we've talked about personalization at scale for essentially since I've been in this industry. And that I think that end goal keeps moving a little bit further away from us because of those customer expectations are rising. And I feel like generative AI is just so exciting because of our ability to finally meet the content needs to truly personalize at scale for omni-channel engagement. So what does email in the context of a customer journey look like? I think at the end of the day, it's everything I've said. It's making sure you're meeting customers where they are in each of their personal journeys, and knowing when, as a part of that customer experience or that customer journey, you're delivering the right message to the right channel at the right time. And at Adobe, we deliver value for omni-channel use cases across the world's biggest brands. I've worked with many of these brands that you see on the screen. I can truly say that they are doing it the best. And one of the things that they all have in common is that they're all putting the customer at the center of their engagement strategies. And so with that, I think we have time for Q&A. Let me take a look.
Q&A time, my favorite time. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you please throw those questions in the Q&A tab. Please, please, please. Go and take a look here. All right, this one comes in. All right. Oh, first and foremost, hold on. We gotta get the ham horn going for the. There we go. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, can we give a round of applause for Bridgette's wonderful talk here? There we go. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. All right. All right. All right, Bridget. Let's get into these questions, shall we? Let's see here. Let me go and stop this sharing. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. Let's take a look at these questions, shall we? All right, this one is actually coming from Alfredo. Let me throw this up on here. Alfredo wanted to know, what mistakes do you see brands make when trying to personalize their communications?
Ooh, I think, like I said, consumer expectations right now are already so high. I think that they can see through kind of that artificial types of communication, artificial types of personalization. So we've always called it like the insert name here, maybe that's a good way to start, but I think consumers have started to see through that, just, personalizing based on name or maybe based on some other really obvious attribute. I see where brands that really are shining in personalization are considering what are the customer behaviors across channels? What is the customer browsing, or what have they bought maybe in store if you're a retailer, or what are their kind of the habits and behaviors they're using over time to inform that engagement. So it's kind of like that hyper personalized segmentation with your offers, for example. Is the customer receiving the right offer? I think one of the biggest mistakes right now that I see brands make is that it's really surface level, and I think customers can see through that.
Love it, love it. You heard it here first, people. Let me see here. Moving on. This one comes in from Kristen. She wanted to know, how do you keep track of the frequency of messages customers receive from email, SMS, push, etc.?
Sure. I think that's where it's important to have that unified view of your customer. So being able to bring your data, even if your mobile teams or your lifecycle teams, your acquisition teams are using different platforms than you may be using for your email platform, it's important to come up with an organizational strategy to bring that all together into a unified view. And again, where I also see the ability to orchestrate across channels from a single platform, even if that delivery is going out, making sure that each channel of engagement is being informed by what the other channels are doing and what's sending. And then setting at Adobe in our platform, you could set frequency rules to both rules-based and intelligent to determine how often should this customer receive a message, what's the cap. Also, like if you were promoting specific offers, how many offers did you promote to this customer? Is there a drop, etc.? Oh, I think we lost Thomas. I'm trying to see if I can pull up any of the questions. I see one. I think it's what are
That's
some
my
of the
bad.
most interesting example you've seen of inbound communications? Ooh, that's a really good one. And when I see these, I'm always pretty surprised. I think it's even, I was at a gym recently, and I checked in for my class. And so once I checked in for my class, before I even left that class, I had please rate this review. And we know that's a triggered experience, but for even a small kind of like local gym here in the Boston area, I see them doing some really interesting things with responding like behavior based. Like you've checked into your class, here's how you get ready, right? Like I've interacted with the brand by showing up and then I get something back. So I know I talked about like the world's largest brand, and sometimes it's easier for marketers to say, well, like it's easy for, XYZ brand to do that, but I'm smaller, I'm leaner. So I think that's really interesting that, even local kind of mom and pop startup type brands are leveraging what they know about the customer. So like I said, it's like leveraging that customer's always on the go. Their mobile is always with them. So if you have the ability to respond to those mobile moments, but then also follow up via email, I think those are the types of emails that I see that are kind of like surprise and delight moments.
Got it. Love it. Sorry there, I accidentally muted myself.
That's
I should
okay.
be back. All good, all good. And real quick, did you have an opinion on omnichannel versus multi-channel? If there was any difference for you, any opinion on there?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I think they could be used interchangeably. We get that question a lot. In my mind, it's single channel, then the maturity to multi-channel, where maybe you're starting to think about email in the context of SMS, or maybe you're thinking about it in the context of SMS and push, some of your more outbound type channels. When I think of omni-channel, I think of organizations that are bringing together both their offline data, so what is the customer doing in their physical experiences, as well as their digital experiences across not just their outbound channels, but across web, mobile inbound, kind of all of the other proliferation of digital channels that they could be interacting or ways they could be interacting with your brand.
Got it. Okay. Moving through here. Let me see what else we got.
I see one on, do you see any customers concerned with privacy and hyper segmentation? That's an awesome one. Yeah, I absolutely think that's a concern for customers. I think that's where it's important to always make sure, you're giving customers the preference and listening and taking into account how they want to, and honoring really how they want to engage with your brand. So making sure you have those preference centers, allowing them to easily opt out and opt in, be transparent about what communications they'll receive by which channels. I think of the local football stadium here in the New England area does a really great job when you're attending an event to encourage you to download the app, and they are very transparent about why they want you to download that app to make the most of your experience, and also what communications you'll receive and how. So download the app, make sure you opt into push or SMS for the latest event updates. So if there was a change to event timing or parking or whatever other experience, I love that they're super transparent when you're attending an event, that they, list out all of those kind of expectations.
Got it. Okay. Moving on from Melissa. Thank you, Melissa, for that awesome question. Moving down here. Okay, I like this one from Darsan. He asked, how can businesses ensure that their email marketing remains effective in an increasingly omni-channel world?
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes back to a lot of what I just said. I don't see other channels taking away from email. I mean, if we were in the industry 10, 15 years ago, you would, because there was all of a sudden mobile push and SMS, it was like email dead. There's all these other more exciting digital channels. But really, as the stat I had, email still $35 to $1 spent, which is an amazing ROI. And if, like I said, if not more for a lot of brands, it's all about listening to consumer preferences and mapping to where email fits in the journey. I actually think these one-to-one, more surprise and delight type moments through email actually can make also your brand, quote unquote, batch and blast emails even more effective, because customers know that you're taking the time to personalize their experience. And then when they receive those kind of business as usual emails from you in their inbox, even that's daily or weekly, they're going to assume they're likely more personal. They're going to not be as maybe fatigued or annoyed because they're getting something every single day from you. And when balanced with the other channels, and when you figure out, hey, where does this channel live in the customer's life cycle or in that specific customer journey? Maybe it's an onboarding journey, or maybe it's a prevent churn journey. It's a re-engagement journey. I think you can drive just as high a results from email marketing, if not even more than you have in the past, because you have that increasing amount of data to inform your personalization.
Got it. And then, what if what if people want to start from the ground up? If you're a small business owner with limited time, budget, and resources, this feels overwhelming. Is there a way to ease into this?
Yeah, I think it's about mapping out your customer journey. Like, what are your intentions? It was interesting, that brand that I spoke about earlier in the presentation that I worked with earlier this week. Massive brand. Unfortunately, I can't say who they are, but they, in the media and entertainment industry, they mapped out really simple customer journeys, like back to basic customer journeys. And they thought about what are all the points of data we could have informed the journey. And if it's a small amount of data or a large amount of data, work with what you have. Because I think looking at it and go against what data points can inform each step, what's the goal of this journey, and what would be the most ideal customer experience. I think we call them moments that matter. Once you map out those moments that matter across the intended customer journey, so say that's an onboarding journey, or there's data that indicates once a customer onboards, they're likely to churn if, or they're likely to convert if, you can start understanding what moments impact that. So just understanding your customer, knowing your customer, and what maybe leads to the best experience in their journey, and also how to optimize for your business as well.
Love it. Okay. Let me see here. What else we got in here? Thank y'all for all these amazing questions, everyone. Y'all are just submitting away. Love it. Let me see, Bridgette. And if you see something that you see before me, call it out.
Where does personalization top out, and what point is it too much or feels forced? That's a good one. And I think that goes, it's about brand authenticity. Do you know your customers? Do you know what their intent is, why they interact with your brand? I know that's some mega holistic marketing and really beyond customer engagement that spans into the customer experience side of the world. I think if you know your customers as a brand, and again, if you give them those preferences, I think customers are open to personalization if it's useful to them, right? Like if it's adding value to their experience. Like, I mean, I think one of the thing that happens every year, what is it, Spotify Wrapped, like, and everyone loves, it's like this sort of huge surprise and delight moment, and now everyone's expecting it. You realize as a customer, like, they're tracking so much amazing behavior data on you, but like, that's okay, because at the end you're getting this amazing thing that kind of gives you insights not only into yourself, but allows you to share and converse and talk about it with friends and other lovers of music. I think Spotify really understood their customer when they set out to do that. And I think even smaller brands, if you know your customer, you know the value you provide, but also why they interact with you. And then you're also transparent about, again, like what you use the data for personalization, or you're making sure that the personalization is adding value and isn't just, personalized to personalize.
Use that data, use it wisely, use it correctly. I've been hearing that a lot lately. Love
Exactly.
it. Awesome. Well, Bridgette, thank you so much. That is actually all the time we have today for Q&A and your amazing presentation. If the folks want to reach out to you and all the other things that you're doing in the email world, I guess we can throw that back up on here. Let me see here. I guess this is the best way to reach out to you, huh?
Yes, that would be the best way.
Awesome. Bridgette, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to be here with us. And also for your first email camp. It was a blast. I hope you get to hang out and keep watching all these amazing sessions. But can we get some love for Bridgette out in the crowd, please, ladies and gentlemen? There we go. Love it. And of course, the ham horn. Yes, love it. Bridgette, thank you so much. Seriously, we're so grateful that you're able to be here. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen,
Have
Bridgette Darling.
One. Bye.
Awesome. Take care, Bridgette. All right, everyone, we're going to go ahead and let me go check on Ryan and JJ, and we'll get that next session started in just a moment. See you in just a second.